Hi, everybody. It's Heather Aston with TT's Trinkets and Treasures, and welcome back to my channel. So, if you're new, I deal with a couple of disabilities that cause pain, and one of them, Durkheim's disease, has been causing all sorts of issues. And today I got my second of four ablations in my leg. And then I went to Bernie's Beads to pull the orders for the invoices from our live sale the other day. Fun, fun. Can't wait. Those will be out tomorrow morning. Um, and by the time I was done there and came home, I was hurting pretty bad. And I like to use beading as a way to focus on something other than my pain. So let's see if I can't design this pain away until it's bedtime. Now, I have a new premise for my channel, at least. It's not completely new, it's been done before. They're kind of some of my favorite videos. But that is to design with something until it's all the way gone, whether it be a bead box or a specific strand of beads, whatever. So, one of the beads that we sold in the live sale on Monday was some chevron glass beads from India. So I grabbed two strands. I'm not doing two strands tonight, but I grabbed these ones. Let's let you see my mat so you can see what I'm talking about. And they are these red, blue, or red, black, and white chevron beads from India. And they're absolutely stunning. I love the pattern on them. I love that when you can see them, you can see the chevron on the center of it. And they're beautiful. So we're going to see how many items I can make using these. There we go, using this strand of beads and items from my stash, i.e. beads that I already own. Now, I do have a couple that are new as far as I've never used them before. So I have these, and these are fossilized coal, and they're black and they're gorgeous little rice beads. I saw them and immediately knew that I had to design with these, and I bought them a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to use them for the first time tonight. Now, when picking through my stash, I did find stuff from various different bead boxes that I have, such as Sam's Bead Box, Dollar Bead Box, Bargain Bead Box. Those are the three main ones. I'm not sure if I have anything from Gemstone Orphanage in this. Oh, and the Claim It Live bead sales from Randy at Thunderhorse Descendants. I'm actually going to use a few different things that I've gotten from her recently, or I'm going to try to work them into this as much as I can. I really like these silver, like tribal looking pendants, so I'm going to try to work these in if I can. Those came from her. I have a little silver locket here that I might use. Not sure yet. I have a butterfly, heart, some keys, some heart silver spacer beads, and a couple of, a vintage box clasp. I have two of them here. And to go along with the keys, I have two locks. So we will see what all gets used, if any of it, and go from there. Now, I'm not going to make you watch step by step by step by step everything that I do. Otherwise, we'd be here forever. So, what I figured I would do was go through the basic design of what I wanted to do with you, and then I will either make a bunch of a specific component, or I will um, finish stringing a certain section, whatever, and then I will come back on screen and let you know what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and first of all put my mat as the only layout. I have the usual band of pliers when it comes to jewelry making. I have my needle nose pliers, my flush cutters, round nose pliers. I have my nylon jaw pliers, 6-set pliers, flat nose pliers. If it's a plier, I probably have it. So I don't know all which ones that I'm going to use, but those are the ones that I have right here. In case you're new to jewelry, this is the flat nose plier. Sorry. I'm never going to get used to like having to go over. I don't know if it's something that I can fix so it stops, so I don't have to go the opposite way. Because here's the thing. To me, this is going left. To you, it's going right. So I don't know. Anyways, so those are some of the players. So first of all, you guys don't understand. These beads are beautiful. And I know quite a few of you guys ordered different colors of various sections. And after I started pulling beads and realized that the only thing more difficult than matching golds on metal components is trying to match reds. I pulled just about every red bead that I had in my stash, trying to find what I was looking for, and it's not quite the right color, but it would do if I need it. I have those in 3 and 4 millimeter from one of the dollar bead boxes in the last couple of months. So I have those. These also came from that same dollar bead box. So I have those. I have these that were in the Desert Sands, I believe, message bargain bead box several months ago. And this is the closest red that I have within my stash of any of them. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit closer so you can see. That's about as close of a red as I've gotten. Like I said, these aren't bad, but they're not a match, but we'll go from there. So anyways, I know what I want to do for the first one, and that is that I want to make a necklace. Recently, I got a lot of, let me see if I can't do my, nope, other way. Add to stage, nope. There we go. Hello. Okay. So I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing here, or at least see me. It makes me feel better when I can look up and see that things are on track. Okay, so I got a bunch of beads. Let's go ahead and zoom out now that we're done with that part of it. And I got a bunch of black and gold Amazonite from Randy over the last several weeks. And this was one of the pendants that came on a string that had like 6 or 8 different, they're supposed to be matte, but this one still has a pretty good shine on it. But this came in on one of the strands that I purchased from her. And then as you can see, on all of these strands, there are various like gray and black and white ones. So I don't know how many of these I'm going to pull off. I do know that of all of the strands, the ones that have the most are these coin beads. And I had another strand of those. And I pulled out all of the like black and gray and white. And I'm choosing to do this so that then this almost becomes not necessarily the primary color, but this becomes the supporting actor to the red. And I might throw some of these rondelles in. I'm not 100% sure yet. These are almost Drux, but they're not quite. They're pretty close though. But I love these matte beads. They're beautiful. So let's go ahead and destrand this other strand of coin beads and see if I can't get enough black and white and gray ones that I can come up with a winning design for this necklace. So here's some. I think there's going to be more than enough. There seems to be quite a few. I have also used a bunch of beads from these strands. So that's why if it seems like there's a bunch, first of all, there was like 6 or 8 of these already pulled from other strands I had opened. Here's a white one, another white one. White and gray. So if you ever are looking for beads or jewelry or something and somebody tells you that it's Amazonite and it's black and gray and white, know that it's likely let me move this over slightly. Nope, wrong way. There we go. Hope that didn't make anybody sick. It is possible that they are from Black and Gold Amazonite, guys. So don't be. It is a possibility. And then I only have one strand of these, but there are a couple of different that I might use something like this when it gets to the focal, but I'm not 100% sure. The thing that I love about this focal is that I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but there is some like glistening bronzy color in it, and it's so pretty. And I wouldn't have thought to put like a bronze with this. I definitely could use an antique bronze. I'm probably going to stick with silver, but I could put it together. So we have this, and then I was thinking I might dangle like a little lock and key charm down. Not 100% sure, but we'll figure it out when we get there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some medium beading wire, and I thought I'd already cut a piece. Maybe not. You guys knew how many times I've cut cord and then been like completely forgot that I'd done it and cut more. Where's my ruler? It was right here on the desk. Let me see here. Okay, well, I'm gonna guess this is 12. That's 24. That's about 26 inches. That'll be good. The little mat I use is 12 by 12, which comes in quite handy when you're trying to figure out. Now, I'm not quite sure how I want to attach this. If I am going to, in fact, dangle a lock and key in front of it as kind of, I don't know, maybe I'll attach them to little like chunks of chain and have them hang in front. So I'm kind of liking this. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. I'm kind of liking this filigree heart pendant. It's really pretty. So I don't know. Let me see what I think about this lock and key. You guys are not going to believe what I just did. I just cut off the top of that loop because I was getting frustrated with the packaging and snapped it in half. So this would be the only project that had these on here. But what do you guys think about like a little lock key and possibly the heart situation just hanging from small little lengths of chain? That could be really, really cute. Okay, let's try it. So I'm going to want to get some 20 gauge wire at a minimum. I'm going to go ahead and do 20 just because I want to make sure that it can go through. So I'm going to go ahead and where are my double flush cutters? Right here. I'm going to cut about, I would say, a 6 or 7 inch piece of wire. And in order to keep this on there, I'm going to have to put this, I'm going to have to put a stopper one way or another. And typically, I don't recommend trying to do a knotted head pin with 20 gauge wire, but this is going to have to be an exception because I don't currently have any like ball head pins or flat head pins. I only have eye pins, and even those right now I don't think would be enough. It's not long enough. So how you make a knotted head pin is you want to go to the smallest part, usually the tip of the wire to the tip of your pliers. Here, let me move this out of the way so it's not causing it to become blurry. So you're going to take the very tip of your plier to the tip of your pliers to the tip of your wire, and you're going to keep it as tightly coiled as you can and coil it around until you can see the beginning of it with 2 loops before it. Then before you take it off of your pliers, go ahead and bend the wire up and into the direction of where it needs to go to make the knotted head pin. Then you're going to push one through the other. You're going to grab your nylon jaw pliers and you're going to try to put that as flat up against these pliers as you can get it. And then for this, because it is 20 gauge wire, we're going to have to pull pretty hard to get it to pull all the way through. So for this, I'm going to bring in my like full size pliers because it'll make it easier. And then I'm just going to grab the end and I'm going to pull it through. And you can see how it's kind of getting stuck right there. Just keep pulling. If you need to, you can come down and kind of tuck things in a little bit better and then pull again. And then what I do, or what I like to do, is just push it up just enough that I can get some pair of pliers down in right there, and then pull up to straighten your wire at the same time. So now you have your little knotted head pin, and like I said, you might have to just futz with it ever so slightly. Let me see, I think I got that to pull tighter. I did indeed. But now I'm going to have to straighten this again. Okay. There we go. Try not to use this as little as you can because you do not want to work harden your wire so much that it then gets like tight. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slide this onto the wire. For some reason, this drill hole is like all the way back up there. So that will definitely become the back of our pendant. And then we're just going to pull that down. And I'm trying to decide if I want to leave it like that or do I want to put one of the red beads at the base. Let's see here. Just to pull that red down to the bottom. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm just trying to decide if I think it needs a spacer. I don't think it does, guys. I don't know what you think, but I think that it's fine just the way it is. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a wrap loop, but because I want to hang some chain down from this spot, I'm actually not going to go ahead and close this off. First, I'm going to find some silver chain, which I had pulled out. I just don't know where I put it. Let me see. Oh, I forgot about that. Hold on 1 second while I try to find some chain real quick. Okay, I'm back. Here's what I came up with. I'm going to put the lock and key on this one link of some longer paper clip chain, kind of long links. So I'm going to show you what we did to go about that. But first, I'm going to show you what I did to make this hang on the front of the focal. And all I did, if you guys have been watching lately, I demonstrated some quick and easy ear wires, kind of using this same method. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a ball head pin and I'm going to put it pretty close to the end of these pliers. And these are Beadsmith's micro round nose pliers, so they're small, guys. But I'm going to keep it pretty close to the end. I'm going to wrap up until the ball hits back around to the plier again. Then what I did was I started the process of a wrapped loop. So first I folded it back and then I came up top. You don't need to keep your loop big because it's just going to go over the wire that goes through the focal. So you're just going to go up, over, rotate your pliers so they're facing the mat, and pull it up behind. Now, once you get there, kind of straighten things up just a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the loop in your pliers like this. I always switch hands at this point so I can use my pliers. And I'm going to grab hold and I'm going to go for 3 wraps, hopefully. I think I can do it if I can just get the piece of wire to cooperate with me. 2 might be all I'm going to get, guys. Oh, no. Come on. 1 more. There we go. Okay. Now that that's all nice and, well, not so nice and tucked in. Hold on. I thought it was for a second. Okay, and I have a little teeny tiny piece of the wire at the end of this. I can do this, guys. I hope it's not too late at night. And then all I did with this after I finished the whole thing, and the loop should be facing the same direction. Like you should be able to see through the loop where we're at. But then all you're going to do is take a hold of it over the wraps and then push it back into a right ankle bend. And I'm going to show you why right now. I already kind of tested this on and know that the red bead got completely covered up. And so I don't want to waste a bead that way. So I just swapped it out. But see how now it will hang right there above the pendant. And we are going to hang our link of the paperclip chain. The only thing I'm not sure of is I might want to go ahead and add one more jump ring for the heart, only because it gets a little lost here. But when you go to hang it, you would make sure that your two charms are on either side, not from the middle. And just another tip, when I went to cut this paper clip chain, I clipped it in the center right here. That way I can use it as a kind of oval jump ring, and it doesn't go to waste. So that way I'm not wasting any of my product, any of my supplies. So I'm going to come down. Actually, I'm going to take that off because it'll be a heck of a lot easier. And I'm going to open up this loop, and I'm going to thread this over the top of the ball head pin, which it fit last time. So why is it not fitting this time? Oh, come on. Please don't do this. There we go. Got it on. Okay. And then we're going to close it back up. And I'm going to tell you guys, these little silver spacer ball head pins, they're pretty good and sturdy. I just got to get the little ball part of the pin back centered with where the loop is bent out. And like I said, this is going to be bent straight back. I just want to make sure it's there. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this on. And if I leave it just like this, guys, the heart isn't completely lost. But I think it's a little bit, I don't want to use the word empty or whatever, but it just seems to be down too far towards the end. Whereas if I added another small jump ring, that was facing the wrong way to begin with, the heart would come down a little bit lower. But right now, it's right at the end. So these are my options. Either I leave these as they are, or I create a shorter chain with a couple of small jump rings in order to get this moved up a little bit. And then I can connect each of these to the various links. I would only need 3 at the most. So I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I think that'll be the best idea. So unfortunately, I do have to open this again. Well, you can usually tell if you have weakened the wire to a point where you need to go ahead and make a new component. And I don't think I'm there. I think I'm okay. If I can just get this ball through. I don't understand why. If I can get it right at the center, then it comes out no problem. There we go. Okay, so again, like I said, I have these all attached via jump ring. But for me, it's going to be easier just to cut this. I will tell you it's a very hard, sturdy chain. Let me see if I can't use my memory wire cutters to get a double flush cut right there. Woohoo, I did it. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now I have an oval jump ring that was cut with a double flush cutter. And in case you're like, wait, what? That's not a double flush cutter. It actually is a double flush cutter. So the memory wire cutter is a double flush cutter. So then when the ends are put back together, they are completely flat. Oops, stop trying to focus on that and focus on my hand. It's completely flush cut. I might clean it up just to kind of smooth it out a little bit, like open, and take my little rotary tool and just file it ever so slightly. So now let's go ahead and make a chain, and we're going to do so using 3mm sterling silver jump rings. And that is way too many, Heather. We're going to need like a total of 3 of these. I don't know why I took so many out. 3. Oh, we might need a 4th. So let's go ahead and put that right there. And then all we're going to do is open the jump rings and attach them to each other so that we form a little chain. Easy peasy. I am going to close this back up quickly, make sure my metal doesn't feel weak, like it's not strong anymore. You know what weak means? Oh my goodness, guys. Yeah. I took my bedtime meds about I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes ago, so they might be kicking in as we speak. Anyways, I'm going to put this link on that little jump ring. I'm going to open the next jump ring, and I'm going to see how it looks feeding a charm onto either side of this jump ring, just to see how it looks. And if I feel like they're fighting too much, we can always take it off. So let's go ahead and close this. And then we're going to go ahead and get a second link. And when you join this to the others, you want to make sure that you're going for that center link, like that. And now that I'm looking at this, I don't think that I want the heart and the key on the same jump ring. I think I'm going to spread them out a little bit by putting one of each charm on its own jump ring. So let's go ahead and take the lock off. And then we can just attach this jump ring to this. And if we need to move this down to the same, otherwise it's too long, we can do so. Oops. Where did the little jump ring go so I can make sure it's all properly closed? It should be the second one right here. Yeah, and you can see that it's not properly closed. So we're going to grab it right there and make sure it's all the way good and closed. Yes, so pretty. Okay, and then we're going to open the jump ring that the lock is on and see. We're going to add, oh, what am I doing? Sorry. I can take the other open jump ring, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide it into the last piece of chain, which is the lock, the key, I mean, and attach it and close it up. And then once I do that, let's go ahead and put it on the stone and see how it looks. Make sure that they're not competing for space so much that it doesn't look okay. So there's the heart and key on the pendant. Very nice. Then we're going to take our last jump ring, and this is the one I think we might need to, there is a jump ring, or there's actually 2. So I may not actually need this one. Let's go ahead and try it and just see where the heart falls. So we're just going to connect this to the jump ring that the other two are connected to and see what that looks like. And if we have too many links or not enough links. I do not understand why that just fell off. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use, this just completely came off and I'm not sure why, but there is 2 jump rings on here. Like I said, we're just trying to figure out if that's enough or if it ends up being too many. I just need the bottom link. Can you cooperate, please? Okay, and then like I said, I want to click this onto the one that's holding the lock. And if I have to swap it out and put it further down, I absolutely will. I don't know why these seem to be jumping from jump ring to jump ring. See? You see what it's doing? Something must be magnetized and it doesn't like each other. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and put our little link that we made with the ball head pin on. This is the right size. I think the heart, we need to lose one of the jump rings. Oh, sorry, above where the heart is. I think we just need to take one of the jump rings off and then it'll be perfect. So let me go ahead and do that quick. And I know I keep taking it off and I'm sorry if that's confusing for people. I don't mean it to be. It's just the process of doing this. So I apologize. Oh, wrong one. I will put that away in a second. So now we're going to take the one that is connected to the lock. And we're going to go to the bottom link of that. And I will go over the jump ring situation again in just a second. But I'm basically creating like a cascade of charms. The word for this kind of thing is escaping me at the moment. Sarah Lovecraft does them a lot. It's not just dangles, it's something beyond that. This one does not want to finish closing, so I'm going to go in and instead, there it is. Just going to get my itty bitty little pliers in there like that and pinch it closed. There we go. Okay, so let's put this back on and see if this is the way we want it. And it is. That's exactly what I wanted. So here is the progression of jump rings, guys. So there are 2 jump rings hanging off the little wire component that we did. Let me zoom in. Wrong way. So we made the little component. So there's a loop right there. Then there's a jump ring, 2 jump rings. In that jump ring, I attached the key on one side. A key on one side, and then for some reason the lock is lower than it needs to be. So I might bump that up one. I don't know why that is. And that'll put the heart even better. Anyways, let me do that real quick and I'll come right back. And then I'll go through the progression of the number of jump rings with you as soon as I'm sure that's the way I want it to be. Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry, guys. I actually wrapped the loop up without you guys. I did not mean to do that, but Here is the jump ring situation. There's one hanging, oops, sorry. There's one hanging from the little component that I made with the ball head pin. Then there is a second jump ring in which all of these are connected. So there's the key on one side, the lock on the other side, and then in that same center jump ring, there are 3 jump rings leading down to the heart. So that way they all fit. The reason I went ahead and wrapped the loop up is because this is swinging a little bit too much for me to put together. So I went ahead and did it. I'm happy that I did because when I did it the second time, you don't see the knotted head pin at all on the bottom here. And that's because the drill starts up there. So for me, that's kind of a win. But there are the 3 charms: the key, the lock, and the heart. And now we will get to the stringing portion of this. Okay, so here is our piece of jewelry wire, stringing wire. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit because we're going to be going over the pattern. And I want you guys to be able to see as much of it as possible. So I think the best bet would be to go ahead and string this on the correct way so that it's facing the right way. Oh, wait. Nope. Here we go. Okay, now, obviously, we're going to want something right here underneath to keep this from rubbing back and forth on the stringing wire and therefore creating friction and starting to break down the coating that Softlex has mastered. But sometimes they do need a little bit of help with stuff like this. So see, if we put one on either side, then they'll join in the middle and it will hang. And I think that looks pretty sharp. So then next, I think we are going to go ahead and we're going to grab out some spacer beads. 4 millimeter is a little bit big in my opinion. I happen to have 1.5 to 3, or 2.5 and 3 right here. So let's just see which we like better. And at first this is going to seem like a very monochromatic design, but I promise once we put the red and the coin beads together, like where they're next to each other, you'll be happy. Oh, that's so pretty. I just love the way that came together. It's so pretty. Okay, and then we're going to want to go ahead and put a black bead on either end. And before I get much further, let's go ahead and grab one of my little sewing clips. I use these because I can get 100 of these for less than I can get 3 of the little spring ones that are harder than heck for me to open. Okay, well, I'm not quite ready for that yet because I need to add this. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add a coin bead, I think, at this point. Should we do a coin bead or should we go ahead and pop in the red right now? Let's go ahead and try it with the red and see how we like that. My favorite part of doing it this way is that you'll be able to see the color on the bottom and top. You guys, I think that's pretty much, now am I not going to want to add the Amazonite? Let's see. So if I put another black bead, another silver bead, and another black bead. Do I want to add another red or am I going to want to add one of the coin beads and like with the more charcoal colors. Oh, that's pretty too. All right, let's go ahead and put it on the other side. Do the same thing so that we can see where we're at with this. Do another little rice of fossilized coal, which I am afraid are going to become my new favorite bead. And I only say afraid because that means that I'm going to want more and more. And hopefully I'll still be able to get them in. I'm just trying. I know that my pattern's wrong, guys. I did it on purpose so I could see if I liked it better with the silver next to the Amazonite, and I think I like it with the silver better. And now I'm wondering if I shouldn't have done silver by the red, but I think that it will be okay because I like how the rice bead kind of goes in between there. And if it wasn't for the beautiful pattern, I would probably put a silver bead cap on these to kind of like bring it together. Oh, I love that. Okay. So now we just need to go silver, rice, silver. Yeah, we might have to put the sterling, we might have to put this silver in between those because otherwise the pattern messes up right here. Because I would then need to go, yeah. Okay, let me see what it looks like with silver before and after the chevron bead. Just real quick, let's see if you can still see enough of the pattern that like I'm happy about it. Oh yeah, that's pretty. It almost adds as like the center bud. Okay, yeah, no. Not only am I not mad about it, I actually kind of like it better. So that's where we're going to go. One. And then we're going to go bead, silver bead. I think I didn't have my glasses on with the struggle I'm having with these itty bitty beads. But I do, in fact, have them on. So spill out a few of these so I don't have to keep reaching into the container. And then I'm going to go to the charcoal. Oh, you guys, look how pretty that's going to be. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue doing this pattern until I feel that it's long enough. And then I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I changed the pattern some. I don't ever remember what it was before. Sorry about that. But this is the new pattern. Oh, yes, I do know. I had a secondary black bead and then another silver. That's what I changed because it seemed a little bare and like I wasn't using enough of the like beads. So so in between each bead is just a silver plated ball spacer, fossilized coal spacer, and then there is a silver and then one of the white. And what I did with the black and gold Amazonite, guys, was I went white, gray, very dark charcoal color. And then I went white, grayish or gray and white, and a very dark a very dark charcoal one. And so I'm probably going to go ahead and put at least one more of the red with the black and silver, and then I will go from there. Uh-oh. I'm not sure what happened. I'm hoping my battery didn't die. I can go over that again in just a second because I have backup batteries because that's important. I'm not sure how it died already, considering I just put them in. Is it the wrong way? I think so. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, there we are. Hello. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, I did silver ball spacer. Oh, I also changed the silver ball spacers to 2.5 millimeter ones over the 3. The 3 just looked too big and we're taking away from the glass beads from India as well as the black and gold Amazonite beads. So I took it down to 2.5 millimeter. I just like the way that it looked better. So that's what I changed. And so, oh yeah, one other thing. It was a must. What can I say? Ben and Jerry's half baked. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble for copyright infringement. And they're like, woohoo, she talked about us, and maybe they'll send me free ice cream. I don't know. All right, let me finish stringing this, and then I will come right back and show you, and we'll close up, put on the clasp and everything else, and we'll go on to the next design that I have planned. I've been thinking about this whole time, so I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I got all the way up to a 1, 2, 3 full patterns that went all the way through. And this is going to make us there is 6, right about that bead right there. And let's turn it the other way around. Now I gotta measure it again. Sorry, guys. 6, right at that black bead. And then from there on, 6 and 4.5. So it'll be right about a 20-inch necklace. And I think that it's perfect. I love the trio of charms. What is wrong with my focus? There you go. I love my trio of charms. I think it's cute. It's adorable. This is not your typical Amazonite. So if those of you who don't like the blue, here's another option to use the exact same stone. Just get the black and gold. It's perfect. Now, let's clamp off one end and go ahead and get these ends ready to go. Which we're going to do by finding my crimps, which again, were right here. Those are not that. Guys, I literally have a container with crimps in it right here next to me every other time I need it, except for when the camera turns on. And at that point, what am I supposed to do? I would love it if I could like bewitch it in. That would be the best bet. Are these them? No, it's in one of these containers. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna find it. Of course, the second I hit pause, it like popped up and was right there, right where we needed it to be. Sorry, I'm looking for the other half of these little hook clasps from Beadalon that I love so much. The little hooks. I'll show them to you. And oh, nope. I don't need bigger rings then. I can just do the 3 millimeter sterling silver ones and we're good to go. Okay, what we're going to do is, first of all, let's get stuff out of the way so you can see. We're going to get ready to attach our clasp. And on this first strand, what we're going to do is we're going to get a silver plated crimp tube. These are from Beadsmith. And they're supposed to be made to go with these. So that's not always the case. And then we're going to pull out one of my new favorite clasps. which one side is just a very simple hook and the other side is just a figure 8. But the figure 8 is great because it gives you about 1/4 of an inch of play when it comes to spacing. And say this is your wrist. If you had your jump ring in the back one, this lays perfectly underneath. So it's not like you have to wear it different or anything like that. It just does it all by itself. So I'm going to start by dropping my crimp. No, well, I did, but you know, that's not what I was going to start with. And then I'm going to put on my figure 8. And I'm going to go back through my crimp. And because this is medium and the satin silver, it's plenty of stuff. Plenty of wire inside, so I don't need to add anything. So that's all there is. I'm going to grab my Xuron pliers. And I'm going to go right into the notch of the pliers there. Once I get it centered, I'm going to crimp it right there. And then I'm going to slowly walk it up until I'm able to get it all the way folded in half. Then I'm going to scooch these up and see if a second strand doesn't look like it's going to fix. Maybe it will. No, it won't. I tried, guys. Sorry. I don't usually like to leave a little tail sticking out, but in fact, many times I'll, like when I'm doing stretch bracelets or even like strung bracelets, I like to have them, available so that I can give it a try. All right, so I'm going to scooch everything down. And then you see I'm going to not do it in a straight line so that it has movement still. And then I'm going to start by putting the crimp tube on and then the hook. And yes, I know I have quite the length of wire left. Thankfully, we're going to make some earrings with this pattern. And then that wire will come in handy. So we're just going to go through the crimp end again. We're going to pull it down until the loop is equal to the one on the other end of the clasp and isn't going to bend this when I go to crimp it. So I'm going to put it right in the middle of my pliers like that. My wires are not crossed at all, so when I crimp it, there will be one wire on either side, which you can see. And then I'm just going to slowly work my way up to the front to get a nice closed crimp. And then I'm going to cut off the excess. And here we go, guys. Project number 1 is down. I know we're already an hour in, but I hope you're enjoying the video. I will try to figure out how to timestamp it if possible. But here is the finished piece. I love it. And I'll go over everything at the end one more time. But there's the initial bracelet. Okay, so next, I want to work on a bracelet. I just need to test a couple things to see if what I want to do is going to work. So, and basically what that is I want to be able to go from like a double strand down to a single, back to a double, down to a single. So that's my plan. Let's see if it's going to work out. So in order to do that, I need 2 lengths of stringing wire. Let's go ahead and pull out the Soft Flex medium again on these. Oh, I didn't cut a second piece. Good. Okay, good. I like that. I'm going to pull out my bracelet mandrel, which was so fun to design. You guys, I had a blast with this. Amy had a couple of tutorials where the bracelets didn't fit the intended person. And so I reached out to Nate and was like, we need to make her this. And so we did. And I'm going to come down to 7/14, like 7 1/4. And then I'm going to go past it by another, say, 3 inches to leave room for crimping. Okay. Oh, that was my line. This is that. Okay. So, oh, I need to. I completely forgot. I can't go from single to double unless I have 2 strings. So, again, I'm going to grab my handy little sewing clips, and I'm going to spread these apart just enough that they'll both get clasped, but so they aren't touching directly on each other. So we're just going to start with a silver, and this would go with that necklace. So a silver 2.5 millimeter, like we used on the necklace, and then the black, and a silver again. And I'm doing this because we don't have many of the buffalo horn rice beads that you are not seeing right now, right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a rondelle. The other thing I will say about these beads, just to be fully transparent, is not all the holes are the same size. So every once in a while, if you grab one that has a big hole, the silver bead will get lost in the center. So you just need to pay attention to that. And then we've got to watch to make sure these aren't too close to where they won't sit next to each other. We'll see. Oh, I was supposed to go through both. I'm like, what the heck? I was supposed to go through both of them. So let's go ahead and put these beads back on, like by themselves without the red being on it. I may or may not needed to have taken this step. I might have just pulled beads off that were perfectly fine. But everything that can go wrong does go wrong when you're live. I know every content creator says that, but they say it because it's true. So see, then they're going to come together with the glass beads, and then we're going to go right back and we're going to do the same pattern, spacer, rice bead, silver plated spacer, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. And then I think for the bracelet, you guys, all I pretty much have left are like the more muted gray tones. So I think I'm going to just use those for the bracelet. And we'll see what we think at the end of this. But let me keep stringing, and then I will come back and show you where I'm at. Hold on. Okay, so I have the first half of the bracelet done, and I need to make the focal for this. And I'm going to tell you that I originally had no idea how I was going to achieve this, but I think I might have it. So I'm going to go ahead and record it just in case this happens to be the magical time that looks amazing. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you're just going to put one of the chevron beads onto the piece of wire. Then we're going to take both pieces of wire and we're going to bend them up until they crisscross over the top of the bead. Then, just to make it clear what the delineation is, right where they meet, you're going to point that one down and this one up. Then we're going to try to hold on to this as much as possible. And we don't need many wraps. I would say 2 is more than enough, because we're going to come back and wrap over the rest of it with the rest of this wire. So we've got our 2 wraps. this, we're gonna go. Oh, I gotta go 3 because I did. Sorry, guys, I didn't do a full wrap there, and that drives me crazy when I see it on my jewelry because I'm like, I realize I didn't really pay attention. And I like to pull my wires to the side. I know a lot of people say to pull it to the back and whatever else, but I like to pull it to the side. I generally get a cleaner cut that doesn't need to really be tucked in. So that's the way I do my rope loops. Then we want this to be the front. So I want people to be able to see the pattern in the middle of these glass beads because it's absolutely beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a wrap loop, but then we're going to wrap around the top of this area right here so it doesn't stick out too much. So all we're going to do is grab hold where we already did our wraps, okay? We don't need any excess space. Maybe enough for one loop, but that's like less than a millimeter. And then we're going to fold it over. We're going to grab our round nose pliers. We're going to go about, I would say, a fourth to a third of the way up, but that's where we want it. And I have my pliers sideways, as you can see. I'm going to go up, over, and down, rotate them one time so they're facing the mat now. And then I'm going to pull the loop over. And then once you have that in place, we're going to hold on to our loop and we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it all the way up. So we're going to try to start as close to the loop as we can. And then that's when we're going to start going over the loops from the other way. And then we will just slowly do the little triangle angle part at the top so that there's no space between the bead and the loop. And I'm going to tighten this all up and get everything facing the proper way. But first, I want to continue with this messy wrap, and we're just going to keep going up just to make it look like all of our choices were intentional. And you'll see the front. I'm glad I recorded this one because it turned out pretty darn good. But you'll see that the flowers right there, and then our messy wrap is there. So we're going to go ahead, and this is going to be our charm for the center of our bracelet. So I needed to get that finished. And then what I'm going to do, tuck in this end real quick before I forget. And I don't want anybody to get poked, though all of my stuff tends to go through the tumbler anyways. It's just good practice to do it. And then we'll just be able to hang this from the center of our bracelet, which I'm pretty sure I'm just about there. I'm shooting for a 7-inch wrist. And so because of that, I don't want to go too far, but I also want to allow for that much of these beads being within the inner diameter of the bracelet. That is how you should measure every single bracelet. You should always be measuring from the inner diameter, not the length. Don't have them like, it's handy to know what length it is they're looking for. But if you go solely based on that when you're measuring, then it's never going to fit because the bead is essentially cut in half and the strand goes through. And the outside is going to have a little half moon and so is the inside, which is going to affect the overall length of your bracelet to keep it even and ready to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to put I say attempt like I don't know what I'm doing. Silver ball spacer on either strand. And then I want to make sure that I put 2 of the fossilized coal beads, the little rice ones, which are quickly becoming my favorite. And they don't have a lot of them left, so probably should have grabbed them when I was there today, but I didn't think about it until just now. Okay, so since we have those all nice and snugged in right there, what I'm going to do is when I put this second silver spacer bead on, I'm going to try to put it on just one of them. And as you can see, some of these cords are getting a little bit twisted, but we'll get it all fixed before we ever put a clasp on it. So I'm going to, or should I just go straight to 2 or to 1? I could go back to the 3mm for this one since it will be on either side of the focal. Let's try that. And I have another idea. I think I'm going to go ahead and from my stash and the beads I picked up today from Bernie's Beads, I have my buffalo horn collection. So I already know that I'm either going to pull these itty bitties, but more likely it will be that I grab onto the 5mm. So I think I'm going to do the silver, then 2 of these, a silver and the center, and reverse that coming back. So I'm just going to grab out a little handful, which is probably more than I need. Go ahead and close that because we never know when I'm going to drop it. Okay, let's go ahead and put this 5mm rondelle on here. Got it on. And then what I want to do, I'm wanting that to come in. I think I'm going to have to put a silver ball on either strand and then pull it together that way. Because right now, all it's doing is adding stress to that area of the bracelet, and that's the last thing you want to happen. Oh, I don't know where that ball spacer just went, but it did not go back on the mat, that's for sure. Those are 3mm. Maybe, sir, maybe. Might go into a 3mm bead next, just to be on the safe side, because I might be able to find a bead with a big enough hole, but I think that, and of course I messed it up already. I want the 2.5 and then to go down to 3. And instead I put a 2.5 and then a 3 without them being joined together. If I can stop dropping beads, which would be the ideal situation and resolution for this, let me tell you. Hold my glasses up so everybody can see me and I can see everybody. Not that I'm going to have to go back and watch this later to see the comments and how everybody commented on the video, which is always nice and I love to see. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go up to the 3mm. And what that's going to allow it to do is kind of sit like that and make a little triangle right there. And then once I've done that, I think that I'm going to want 2 of these 5mm buffalo horn He calls them rondelles. I think they're more like Keishis, but that's just me. Okay, see what happens, guys, every single time. You can tell I had a procedure today. I like the look of 2, and then I'm probably gonna put another ball spacer on either side of this. Yeah, I think I'm going to. But isn't that pretty, guys? You can just see the little flower there. And I might go ahead and take one off. I'm not sure. We'll see once we put the bead back on. Oh, wait. We need it to go on both strands. So we might have to use another 3mm, in which case we will most definitely... Oh, did I get it? I got them in. I just need them to come out the other end now. Oh, goodness. Now it fell off of both of them. All right. Get this back on here. Get that one on, and then go ahead and put this one through. Okay, that's not gonna work. It does not like me today. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put on another buffalo horn Heishi bead. Put another 3mm, and then I think we're gonna call it good for the center of the bracelet, which for some reason it did not go through both wires. Okay, considering I had my procedure almost exactly 12 hours ago, I think I'm doing pretty good when it comes to getting this together. So then I'm going to grab our focal with the flowers sticking out like a little star or flower. I'm going to grab another 3mm, and when I cramp, this is one area that I'm going to want tighter because we want this to sit up on there like that, the 2 spacer beads, just like that, and so we'd go from there. So next we're going to put 2 more of the 5mm, and we're going to go there. And if you see how much stuff I'm dropping, this is why I keep my seed beading to a minimum. I feel like I would be throwing beads across the room each time just from trying to get them so I can do it. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go back to 1 on either side, close the 3mm. We're going to go down to the 4mm. And then we're going to go back to the little race shape beads. So, we're running out of these puppies. It's okay, I have another strand. And as always, if any of you guys like these pieces, please comment and or just let me go put a comment in with my email address. Oh, is it gonna let me? It's not gonna let me this time. I will make sure that I go and do that, you guys, before we make it live. So but yeah, it's been a lot. Finding out about my Durkheim's when it's pretty rare, and so nobody really wants to treat it, which is very difficult to deal with. So, I mean, it almost gets to the point where you can't even tell them why you're there, and or like if it's caused by something to do with Durkheim's. So otherwise they're like, eek, I can't do that. For example, Dr. Pimple is a dermatologist who is the field that's supposed to train this or supposed to treat this. Then I called her office and was like, "Hey, see you on TV, like your style, yada yada yada. Hey, I have Durkheim's. I'm having a hard time finding a physician. Do you have any suggestions, or could I come and see you?" And I got an email back that said um she does not take new she does not take patients with Durkheim's, which was frustrating because of all the other cases she takes. But she won't take one that's actually from the field of dermatology. I don't know. That's frustrating to me. I feel like if you are a specialist, you really shouldn't be able to say no unless somebody makes like threats against your, bodily safeness. Obviously, bodily safeness. Did I really just say that? Those are not words. So I apologize for that. I don't know why I just said it that way. Because I'll have to tell him that I didn't do it purposely. It just kind of slipped out. Oh, you guys, look at this bracelet. It's so pretty. I like it. One, two, one, two, one, two. Okay, so we're going to have to go this, and we're going to go back to the ball spacers and some of the rice beads, and then we're going to move everything down and make sure that we left a little bit of wiggle room just in case anybody should need it. So guys, I want to hear from you. What stuff would you find useful and or desirable when it comes to shopping at Bernie's Beads? And then I would also love to know, like, would you guys prefer to have kits that go along with the tutorial? Would you like it if we sent out the invoices for the beads, and then I was to say something like, if you like this kit, all of these beads will be included in the live sale on yada yada yada, and we would be able to put that on as well, giving it more notice. I would want it set up no more than 3 days in advance, because we really got to make sure that everybody hears about it. There were quite a few people that were very disappointed that they missed the sale. One of them, I said, was able to order from us, as I did with everybody. It's not like I played favorites or anything. That's not what I meant. I just meant as soon as she knew that that was even a possibility, she went ahead and placed an order. So that was great. And I know not everybody is going to get the turquoise Chinese crystals, the A plus, um, the A plus grade. But I have liked the vast majority of the beads that Bernie has chosen to stock his store with. And so everything just flows. Now, I know this is an hour and 23 minutes, guys. It's going to be a longer one. I'm trying to use up all of these beads. So if I don't do it, then, I'm in trouble. I don't know from who, but I'll be in trouble. Okay, so then I think all I need to do is just put the last couple, and then this bracelet is done as well. And in the books, there are actually that's like 4 designs now, because there were a couple designs that you did, Bernie, and a couple that I showed her. Okay, so now we need 2 more of the little rice beads. They're just, I love these perfect little rice beads. Now I just want the perfect little pearls to go on either side, but I'm sure those would be expensive, so I get good deals from Bernie, so I'm happy to be a regular shopper at his place. So, and just so you guys all know, I do have a referral code. It is Aston, my last name, ASTONREF, and that will get you $10 off your first order. I'm not sure if that includes the bead box, but that's my referral code. Again, that's ASTON and the number 10, I believe. I'm going to double check just to make 100% sure. Oh, when did she go? Okay, let me go make sure real quick. I will go ahead and go look on my phone because that will have it up. If I knew where my phone got up and walked away to. I will make sure it's down in the description box. Guys, I'm sorry if this is a little frazzled. This was more of a, hey, I'm in pain. I need to bead my way through it so that I can not be focused on it all night. So that's where we're at. And this bracelet with no clasp is right at 7 inches. So I might take some of these beads off to make sure it will fit well. So I think I want to take off these last rice pearls or rice beads that are the fossilized ones. And then we'll go from there and I should be good. Yeah. Now let's see where we're at. Taking those off took us up to 6 1/4. So once we put our clasp on, we'll be just fine. You should be right at 7 inches. Okay, let's see. What are you needing, Heather? I need crimps, which are right here. We'll get some of the silver plated ones from the people who made the magical crimper, Beadsmith, I believe. We're going to grab that as the clasp. I thought those were going to be a little bit smaller than they are. Do I want the clasp that bigger? Do I want to save those for French clothes? Oh, this isn't going as a necklace. So no, I don't want to use those. I'd much rather use my little hook and eye clasps. There we go. And here are the figure eights. Figure eights is many. Don't tell me how I was just able to catch that hook that quickly and easily. Okay, there we go. Much better. I got my crimps. I got my clasp. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to start with these two. We're going to stick both wires through the end. And then we're not going to bring it down like I just did because that would be a waste. And then once we get to where we want it to be, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a clip in. Let me see. Can I do both of them? I don't know if that's smart. I've never seen anybody do it. But it just seems to me like that would mean it was extra secure. Oh, I put that on backwards. It's not the way we want it. Okay, so before we go any further, let's see if I can get both of these strands to curve back around and fit. I can. I think I can. So now we're going to hold on to those two ends, and I'm going to hold on to my hook. Where's my other thingy? The other one didn't quite stay together with this one. Yeah. I think this is why Becky does what she does, where she has to turn one around. She only does one. I don't know if this is why, but it's reason enough for me. Let's just say it that way. Okay, let's pull this one out. There we go. And there we go. Alrighty, time to do the crimp. And I do have the magical crimper, but I've had problems the last couple times after I did a bunch. So I don't know if I just forgot a process or what, but here we go. So we're going to stick that in the center of the little divot that has the tooth on it. So see, this one is where you're going to create the divot, and that's going to separate the two strands. That's why you have to have the strands alternized. It will fit into here and it'll be good. And then all these little curves are little junctions for you to get your crimp tighter and tighter and tighter. So again, not really necessary. I just wanted to show you. Okay, just one over. Okay, I think that's going to be more than enough room. Come right there, separate the wires, which there's 3 of them right there, because I folded the one back over. So now we can go back. Let me see what side of the loop this is on. It's this one. We can go back and snip that off at the base of the crimp. If I can, with this hook in my way. I'm trying to figure it out, folks. This is why videos go crazy heck a lot late, because you've got to think of all these things. There's so many steps. There we go. I think I got it. Yep. Okay, time to move everything down. Uh-oh, I took the last 2 silver ball spacers off. Okay, we're going to pull all of this down. I didn't think there was a spot that got stuck that bad when I was making it. Oh, these are not tight. There we go. There we go. Okay. If we need to turn it, we will turn it. Whatever it is you need to make it easiest to see. And then I can do all the invoicing myself. So oh, why do I have 3 on? Oh, because it's the center. Oh no, what just fell off? Beads are what fell off, but I'll fix that in a minute. Okay, these are all sliding down fairly nicely. So I have 1 silver bead there. I need to pick up 1 more for the other side. Really, why are these last ones going to be such a pain? Why does it always seem to happen like that? Those, and then we're going to go with the buffalo horn. So I have 2 right here, because it was 1 for each strand. And then I'm going to want 2 more So I have 1, 2. Yeah, because I got to get another round one on there. So 1, 2. Okay. Hope I didn't cut this all the way, so it's keeping the beads from going all the way up. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to scooch everything down. I don't want it ridiculously tight, but I want it where it's supposed to be, just so that it knows how to sit. And we're going to go there. Oh my gosh, I really hope I have not been off camera this whole time. I certainly hope not. Man, see, this is why I don't like doing lives, because if I wasn't live, you guys would have been able to tell me, and I would have looked up to look at the chat, and I would have been like, oh man, I wasn't in frame. So just in case you weren't, this is what it's looking like on the other side, with the black and gray, or like the charcoal gray Amazonite with the silver and red, well, the silver just ball spacers, and the this wire here. But yep. And then I provided the silver spacer balls and so on. And so now I'm just going to close this up so we can get it sent out ASAP, even if that's tomorrow. Okay, now I need to go back through this with one of these ends. It doesn't matter which one. I just need to go back through one way or another. Come on. I just need one little crimp. So guys, I need some feedback about exactly what you would like to see on my channel. Are you wanting me to stick some macrame on there? And please know that just because you give these suggestions doesn't mean they're going to happen, because I don't want anybody to like get upset or whatever because something changed. But like, I don't know that we'll be able to keep doing it in the bead room because of how hot it gets during the summer, even with the new AC. Oh my gosh, you guys must be like, get that in the crimp, miss. It's driving me bonkers. Okay, now stay there. Let me grab you with my green plier and pull. Finally, a little bit further down. Pull this just a little bit. Oh, I gotta put the figure 8 on. Dang it. Man, I was all excited because I was done. I could have attached it with a jump ring, but it looks so much nicer when there's not one. So we'll go ahead and redo this. And like I said, I have a pair of earrings in mind for the rest, just to kind of go and round off this set in case anybody likes sets and is able. What? I don't understand what's happening and why this is so difficult. I think I finally got it finished. Oh. Okay, and now it's on there. Okay. Let's make sure everything is lined up. I don't want it too tight So sometimes I just roll it around just enough that it kind of loosens up a bit. There we go. Good fluidity. We can pull this loop out just a little bit. It doesn't need to be quite so small. So there's not really a reason to leave it that small other than, for price or size inclusivity. But I just want it to be a little bit bigger, just a little bit, not much. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to find my crimp. I'm going to crimp it. Separated the wires, and then I'm going to slowly move up the ends of the crimp to get in there really well, and to go from there. And you guys, I'm going to be completely and totally transparent with you. I had plans on doing a whole bunch of other projects with this, but I might need to come back for a part 2 because the first bracelet took so long to finish. Okay, so finished the way it is. It is 6.5 inches. So you can go up to 6 3/4 if you go through there, but let's see, this should fit my wrist. Yep, it will definitely fit my wrist. And look, it's so pretty. I just love it. All right, guys, so part 2 will come out tomorrow. Hopefully, this one isn't so long that you're like, why am I watching her? But if not, I'd like to welcome you to TT's Trinkets and Treasures. Thank you for joining in with us, for watching the video, my tutorial. I know sometimes there were bits of it that were a little squirrely. I'm trying to get better about that, I swear. But I hope you guys all had as much fun as I did, and I hope to see you next time on my channel here. And have a great night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.